check.
Hey guys, this is CSDX. Wait, is my mic right? I don't know. Oh, damn it. Hey guys, this is CSDX, but you can call me Sean, and goddamn, 1,000 subscribers. Truth be told, despite how I exude some form of confidence in, saying when I get big and all that, I never actually thought I would hit this number. And that's because when I started doing this comedic review content, that was almost a full decade ago. First of all, thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. It means the world to me. Secondly, yes, you heard that right. I've been doing this for almost 10 years, where I'd argue I was too late to jump on the boom gaming on YouTube had, but that's mostly because my brain was not working well enough for me to understand stuff like the YouTube algorithm and, proper audio editing.
We find out that Black Mask decided to put a hit on us, hiring 8 different assassins. They are Killer Croc, whom we already dealt with.
So while I originally had planned to look at all the mini consoles I owned for the 1000 sub special, I had an epiphany. What if I just looked at a few games that I had looked at before when I was too inexperienced to do it proper and also was too stubborn to write a fucking script? Besides, I was getting burnt out with the mini console recordings. I was doing too much with too many games, too many cooks, you know that spiel. First is... Wait, let me check on my phone just to be sure. South Park on PS1, I'm not ready to revisit that. I wanna just wait until maybe 1 or 2 games from now. So instead we'll do... Captain Novolin. You sure you don't mean Novocaine? Captain Novolin is a game that is all about teaching kids about diabetes and how to handle dealing with it. No, I'm not joking about that. This was my 3rd ever game review, and I only really looked at it because I found out about it via the Game Grumps, much like the game I'll be looking at after this one. While I'm not too fond of my unscripted content from back then, I do enjoy this bit here.
Fucking Iran. Well, this shouldn't be so bad. Oh. I take it all back. The milk has feet. The milk has feet!
The milk has feet!
As for how this game is, I think it's okay, actually. The plot line is that the mayor has been kidnapped and will literally die from his diabetes complications in 2 days unless Captain Novolin, who I guess is also a diabetic, goes to save the day. To get through a level, you need to avoid all the evil aliens cosplaying as sugary snacks and only pick up foods approved by his doctor, as well as monitor how your glucose levels are and the proper insulin dosage before each level. You, however, can only have one of the approved snacks. Getting multiple could mess up your sugar level, just like real life, and that works because I am a pre-diabetic with high cholesterol, but at least I'm working on fixing it however possible. That's hardly all there is to this game, but I was kinda having fun once I got the hang of things. However, this is a game with no continues, no save files, despite the fact that this is a Super Nintendo game, and thus, you have to replay parts of the game and, get good in order to beat it. Personally, I think this is alright despite it, and even if I weren't a pre-diabetic, I think I'd enjoy this any other way. But what about a game with that 90s flair? Something that would be called radical, even, and maybe with a guy, I can't turn this into a bit, I tried, but whatever. Here's Bodacious King. Radical Rex is a game by Activision in a blatant attempt of having a mascot platformer that, yeah, you know what, I also had fun with this one. The story behind the original video? Like I said before, I saw that the Game Grumps played it and I thought that'd make a good video. Except I hurt my back before recording, so it really didn't. The story for this one is that a random wizard that's somehow alive during the prehistoric era decided things are too peaceful and puts a spell on dinosaurs to make them fight to the death cause mammals rule or something. Rex was asleep for it though, so he was unaffected. You sure it's not his brain power? So it's up to him to save the day. Collect eggs for a bonus round that I failed miserably at, sometimes use a skateboard to dash across the stage, and then crash into a dino head cause the game decided you were supposed to get off of it earlier on without telling you. Breathe fire at enemies, which really only works against tiny enemies, and build up a roar to be a screen nuke. Again, I honestly had a good time with this one. I also like how if you let the intro before the title screen play out to watch the bits, Rex is like, what the fuck are you doing? Play the damn game already! I also discovered that one of the buttons on the Stadia controller that I was using while rewinding the game, no, I'm not sorry for that and I never will be, ended up disconnecting, and I guess it might have reconfigured the controller because it was under a new set of letters and numbers or whatever when I had to reconnect it. Twice. Google did not have foresight when making this controller. It's Sonic Shuffle and the VMU all over again. Very mundane umbrellas. I don't really know what else to say about it, to be honest. It's an alright game. I mean, I did have trouble trying to get to the second level, but other than that, an okay time. You know, I feel like enough time has passed for me to talk about South Park on PS1. The cringe in my heart told me so. Ah yes, South Park on the PS1. There is quite an interesting tale to this one, or at least the original video. So, South Park on the PS1 involves the four kids, Kenny, Stan, Kyle, and the Antichrist that needs to die, throwing snowballs and mutant turkeys, among other creatures, due to a meteor passing by that's causing everything to go insane. This, believe it or not, is a first-person shooter game, and it's average. Not good, not bad, but also not fun. From what I could gather, the objective for each level is the same. Go get your two friends and the guy that wants you dead.
Hey, dummy, I'm over here. Hey, dummy, I'm over here.
Okay, make that one friend the guy that wants you dead and one jackass. Defend yourself against enemies, follow arrows in a world where the draw distance is just not there. Although given this game has an N64 port, I'd argue cartridge space limitations kept that from being fixed. Make it to the finish line, rinse and repeat. Personally speaking, this, ironically enough, is some mild and inoffensive gameplay, save for when the typical fart humor happens in the menu. Hell, I think the most offensive thing about this game is how grating the turkey gobbles are on the ears. You won't even be able to slightly hear the music here because of how many turkeys there are and how loud they are. It's an assault on the ears that I wouldn't wish on a single soul except for deaf people because they can't hear anything. Hey wait, is that an Amora? Yeah, I'm sure they're not extinct or anything. You do end up getting better weapons like dodgeballs and health pickups in the form of cheesy poofs, but I'd argue both are pointless this early in the game. The turkeys only really do 1 health of damage, and even when being hounded on by multiple ones, the most my health went down to in this entire recording session is 89 out of 100. On top of that, you get plenty of dodgeballs at a time, or at least it feels that way since I've only ever used them for the bigger turkeys that are literally crapping the smaller ones out. It helps keep them from escaping unless I'm chasing after them anyway. I don't know what else to say about this because I can't bring myself to continue this game because it just isn't fun. Oh, but we haven't even hit peak cringe yet of my past. What? As we are now taking a look at the Revenge of Shinobi on Game Boy Advance. You probably didn't know there was a Game Boy Advance version of it, didn't you? Did you? Not did. Yep, we're now going further back to when it all started. Kinda. See, I looked at the GBA game Revenge of Shinobi, which has absolutely no relation to the Genesis version and doesn't even seem to be about revenge at all, as the 4th game I've ever covered. Unfortunately, there was a sound issue where after the 30-second mark of the rest of the video was completely silent, and I didn't find out until 2 weeks later. Ah, the joys of being a small content creator. The term joys is a very loose one though. I eventually covered it again when I understood how important scripting is, and now I'm looking at it again because I want to. This game is so damn bad. It never tells you what button does what, as you're expected to know how to switch to a specific magic as well as activate it. Shinobi moves like he got a dildo up his ass. B is jump instead of A. The plot, I'll admit, is intriguing enough though, but this was just an absolute bore to go through, and I cannot find anything worthwhile that I can say about it. Except that the sound effect for picking up health items is the Windows error noise. And these zombies make the most disinterested noise I've ever heard in my life. This just sucks. You know, I'm realizing this seems rather uneventful for a 1,000 sub special. Maybe I shouldn't actually do subscriber specials for every whatever milestone it may be. Damn, I guess Dan Plays was right. Wait, was his name is Dan Plays? Shadow SOJ? I actually can't remember. Oh my god, I feel actually terrible about that. But regardless, we are now looking at a game that I looked at the beginning of it all. Like, I'm pretty sure August 2014. My first ever video game review on a game known as Altered Beast, Guardian of the Realms. Or is it Guardians? No, it was Guardian. Altered Beast, Guardian of the Realms was the first ever game I covered on this channel, and man does it show in that video. I even outed myself as an idiot because I thought I was arguing with the actual Hasbro account on Twitter prior to it, when a video that will never see the light of day again got taken down by the actual Hasbro, and I teased reviewing a My Little Pony episode after this. I'm very grateful that I didn't go through with it, to be honest. I should also note that this and GBA Shinobi were developed by a team called 3D6 Games, which I had planned to be my LJN/Phoenix Games style rivalry/feud. At least until I found out that they only ever made a handful of games, one of them being on a platform I don't even own and will never own. And even though I planned for the 50th video at the time to be all about their games, it was clear that that wasn't happening. As for the game, well, for starters, it commits a far greater sin than the B button being jump. They made both of the shoulder buttons jump. How could you do this to my white pasty ass? And unsurprisingly, this makes it so hard to control, especially when trying to hit the airborne enemies. Interestingly enough, there's an option to swap the buttons, but that only swaps the A and B buttons, which both do punch and kick respectively. How do you fuck this up so badly? It doesn't even feel fun to play without the jumping. It feels so barren, even compared to the original Altered Beast, which Sega seems pretty proud of despite how much people didn't care for it back then. Okay, never mind, it was surprisingly varied. Wait, there was a Master System version? The boss battles are just awful, really. You can just spam jump and the basic attack on a number of them and they'll go down easily. There is no thought put into this. Sure, a lot of these enemies in your player are well animated for the time, but that doesn't change how unimaginative it otherwise is. I think the only thing that I would like about this are the designs of the monster forms you take. So 1 out of 453 ain't bad, right? And so we end this trip down memory lane here. Now you're probably wondering, why did I do it this way? I mostly wanted to do this to see how much I've grown since that fateful day, month, whatever you want to go with, in 2014, which was arguably the worst year of my life either way. And it's astonishing that it took this long, but it also is astonishing that, like, so many people, 1,000 is just a small number compared to big YouTubers, but like, 1,000 is still such a big number of people that just want to view my content and sub to view my content. Even if most of them aren't very active, but like, I don't think that's a big issue really. Regardless, if there's anything I wouldn't change about 2014 way back then, despite it being one of my worst years of my life, if not the worst year of my life, well, actually there would be stuff I would change, I should say. Like, I would make sure to get proper payee because part of the reason why it sucked was financial issues. Mostly what I wouldn't change is the fact that I started this content. I have met so many amazing people, some not amazing, but some pretty amazing, over the course of these past almost 10 years and these past 1,000 subs. Yes, even the first 100 that ended up like being there from 2008 to 2014. I was not in a good place during 2008 mentally speaking though, so cool, thanks for that subs, I guess. But all I can say is just thank you. I don't know what else to say. Just thank you for 1,000 subs. And here is to way more than 1,000. Wait, what's the bit again on this? Okay, I don't feel comfortable doing that bit actually. Basically just take care, be safe, Black Lives Matter, love is love, free Palestine, please remember to stay awesome, and just here's to many more years, days, subs, whatever you want to go with, of me making content. I really do love each and every one of you. Sometimes I may not see in it because, you know, I will admit I sometimes have a short temper. I have made many mistakes in the past that I wish I could rectify, but unfortunately can't. And I'm just making sure to learn from a lot of it. And all I really want to do is just try to grow as best as I can and entertain the masses so that they have something just worthwhile to look forward to. I mean, granted, they obviously have a lot worthwhile to look forward to, I'm sure, but what I mean is, like, if they're having a bad day, I want to make content that will help them get through the rest of that day. Just give them a reason to smile, give them a reason to laugh, you know? Anyway, this end bit went on a bit longer than I intended to. I guess I was just rambling for that. I'm terribly sorry about that. But, yeah. You guys take care. Love you all. I forgot to blow the kiss. Okay, you got 2 kisses now. Very good.